I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati, Rick in Detroit. Convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude. Strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game. Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes. Craig Pettis in the M-Town. Sal Magluta with the boat game. Falcone with the cocaine. Like Freeway Ricky with the plug game. Like Monster Cody in South Central. Larry Davis from close range.
Just moments after leaving a peace festival, an up-and-coming Baltimore rapper was gunned down at a busy Northeast Baltimore intersection. Now, as police search for his killer, an eyewitness recounts the bloody ambush. WJZ investigator Mike Halgren is live at City Police Headquarters with the investigation and that new interview. Mike?
Denise, this gunman likely had help, and the murder has come to a shock to the many young people who looked up to Lord Scoota. His career was just starting to take off, and that eyewitness describes the startling way his life ended. Despite a record number of tips, police have not arrested anyone for gunning down up-and-coming young rapper Tyrese Watson, known as Lord Scoota.
I'm living better than I was, but I'm still in the trenches.
They do believe someone targeted him as he left a peace rally at Morgan State University, tracking him as he drove toward the intersection of Moravia and Hartford. This eyewitness, who asked we conceal her identity, describes the brazen attack in chilling detail.
He just had a white t-shirt over his head. He was backing up, walking backwards, and he fired 7 shots. And he jumped into a green vehicle. And the next thing you know, I'm ducking and running. It was unbelievable. Something like you would see in the movie. It's sickening. It disgusts me. He could have killed an innocent bystander. Bullets do not have a name.
Police are looking for any video from the Morgan rally that could lead them to the killer.
Somebody else is holding a piece of the puzzle that we can use. That's what we're seeking at this point.
Think I got the bird flu. I'm tired of salad packs. I think I need a bird or two.
A product of Baltimore's streets, Lord Scoota was on the cusp of making it big.
This young man should be alive. His family should not be grieving now. But unfortunately, hundreds and hundreds of young folks just like him die on our city streets.
While police have not released a motive, Tara, an aspiring rapper herself, believes someone may have been jealous of Lord Scoota's success.
Don't nobody want to see you get anything. If they can't get it, they don't want to see you get it either, because he spoke real. And that's one thing you got to do when you in the rap industry. You got to speak real.
The eyewitness we talked to said her heart aches for the victim's family. Several prominent rappers have expressed their condolences and also their outrage that this has happened. And one more note, police have yet to release any video from that intersection. Denise?
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Now, police are using a new method to gather information. They are asking you to text them at 443-902-4824. You can send them video or pictures that may shed light on this murder. It's the first time they've done this, citing the strong social media interest in this particular case. You can still remain anonymous.
Now, 11 days after Baltimore rapper Lord Scoota was shot to death, the same thing happened to his manager. 24-year-old Trayvon Lee was shot and killed Wednesday night in northwest Baltimore near Druid Hill Park. This murder comes days after the death of Scoota, who police say was killed to avenge the violent act of an associate.
The obvious question that everyone wants to know is, are these two incidents related? Of course, that's something that we're looking into.
Police are asking for your help to solve these murders.
Thank you, Jessica. A bold, vindictive killing at a busy Baltimore intersection. Someone gunned down a person of interest in the high-profile murder of Baltimore rapper Lil Scoota. WJZ investigator Mike Halgren is live in West Baltimore with fears about more violence in this case. Mike?
We're talking about an eye for an eye, Denise. Whoever shot Cortez Mitchell believed they were doing it in the name of rapper Lil Scoota, and the cycle of violence may not be over.
Let it out. It's the life of a young baller.
Lil Scoota was considered one of Baltimore's most promising young rappers, on the cusp of making it big before someone gunned him down as he left a peace rally in Northeast Baltimore in June. Now, the same thing has happened to a person of interest in Scoota's killing. 22-year-old Cortez Mitchell shot multiple times as he drove down Monroe Street Monday afternoon.
We know that we're looking at the right people. It's sad that the streets got to him before we could.
Police say Mitchell was one of 4 persons of interest in Scoota's murder. 2 remain on the street. 1 is currently in jail.
This is part of that revolving door violence where the retaliatory violence is taking its toll on some of these young people that have to really recognize the danger that they're putting themselves in.
We know why Mitchell was killed here, but police have not said why they considered him a person of interest in Lil Scoota's murder. Mitchell's relatives declined comment to WJZ.
I walk by and might catch a bullet.
We did speak to Pastor Keith Bailey, who's worked with countless young people in West Baltimore, including Freddie Gray.
What hurts me the most when I see someone in a casket laying there that I held or took to the store when they was a little child. I worry every day about our young people.
There are numerous bullet holes in the car Mitchell was driving, captured from Sky Chopper 13. WJZ found Mitchell had a lengthy criminal record that included gun and drug charges. Police have not said whether they have any persons of interest in his killing. And police say most of the murders they see in the city are related to other violence. Live in West Baltimore, Mike Halgren, WJZ Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now, police say you can remain anonymous if you have any tips that could assist in these investigations.
Baltimore City police have the murder weapon and a person of interest in the shooting of the death of local rapper Lil Scoota. The 23-year-old was gunned down at the end of June after leaving a peace rally. In Focus reporter Catherine Hawley with the latest tonight.
I recorded that in
3 days after 23-year-old Tyrese Watson was shot and killed at point-blank range, Baltimore City police arrested this man. His name is Avery Walton, and investigators say he's considered a person of interest in the local rapper's murder.
At this point, we have not linked him directly to the murder, but obviously having the murder weapon is a big deal.
When officers picked Walton up, he also had a gun on him. That firearm was the same one used to gun down Lil Scoota.
There was a ballistics match, and that took some time to develop.
Walton is still behind bars. He's facing multiple gun and drug charges. And while he is being called a person of interest in the murder, officers are still searching for the killers.
We want the persons responsible for pulling the trigger and driving the getaway car that killed Lil Scoota back in June.
Tips have been pouring into investigators, and they still want anyone with information about Lil Scoota's death to give them a call.
11 days after Lil Scoota was murdered, his manager Trayvon Lee was killed. Baltimore police are still investigating whether the murders are connected in any way, but they tell us the gun used in Lil Scoota's death is not the same one used to shoot Lee.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Murderland with it. Baltimore. Did I say that right? I always got to check with y'all. Y'all know we live around this bitch. What's the word? Now, today, we are going to be covering a tale or a saga of some sinister shit, and it's going to involve one of the most popular or the more polarizing Baltimore artists that would end up dying in 2016, and we talking about none other than Lil Scoota. Or Lil Scoota. Shout out to whoever pointed that out. I always was fucked up by that lore. I'm like, what the fuck they mean by that lore? Okay, I got it now. Check. Salute the mob. But Now, we are not really going to be talking about Lord Scoota today. We are going to be talking about the situation surrounding his death, the aftermath of his death. Now, the story is going to culminate in 2016, but like every other story we talked about, we're sure that the seeds or the roots was planted before this. But on June 25th, 2016, we're just going to run through the day. Now, earlier in that day, Fred Catchings, who would be best friends or lifelong friends with Lord Scoota, I see media outlets mention where he was even mentioned in Lord Scoota's music, would go on to shoot a guy by the name of Devontae Robinson earlier in the day. Now, as a result of that shooting, associates or friends or Dante Robinson. Now they alleged Dante Robinson, I want to say, was shot in the back and the buttocks. So according to media outlets, friends, associates, or Dante Robinson, maybe himself, was not able to get a hold or get a hand on Fred. So what authorities think happened was Lord Scoota was popping. He was actually coming from a peace rally at Morgan State, which is located in Maryland. And he was shot at a popular intersection where he was killed. 11 days after Lord Scoota's murder, now, it's a frenzy. The news put out a green van that they was looking for in reference to the Lord Scoota hit. But lo and behold, 11 days after he was killed, his manager was also killed. Now, that's when authorities would start to probably try to connect the dots. And we seen the footage earlier, and a lot of people don't know that Lord Scoota's manager was actually Dream Chaser Chino's brother. So it was a lot of aftermath with that. Now, going down the line, Cortez Mitchell, who was going to be a person of interest in the Lord Scoota murder, would end up being murdered as well at an intersection. Not to mention Devontae Robinson, remember him? The person that initially started the downward spiral of the retaliation. He was also shot at a traffic light. He just so happened to make it. Now, on to Fred's brother Cedric. Now, Cedric, and this is just a wild case. So, in 2007, in May of 2007, Frederick was acquitted for shooting a former BGF commander by the name of Ronnie Johnson, who was 34. And according to the Baltimore Sun and the Capital Gazette, he had to come out of witness protection in order to testify. They're going to say that Cedric Catchings fired 7 shots into his leg, breaking his femur. Cedric will end up being acquitted from that, but leaving the courthouse after that acquittal, he would wind up being shot right after leaving the courthouse. Not only would he be shot, he would end up being charged with a 2016 cold case murder, which would end up netting him a life sentence. And his brother Fred, who they gonna say shot 4 people in a span of 2 weeks, and that is going to include Devontae Robinson, would end up receiving upwards of 30 years in prison for his deeds. Now, I read where they spoke to the father of Frederick and Cedric Catchings, and he would kind of go on to say that they were exposed to lead paint at a young age, so that would affect them. But I'm gonna just go out to say that this is murderland. Some people are born shooters, some people are born hustlers, and this sounds like they damn sure was with the Trigger crew. Anybody with any knowledge Frederick or Cedric. Sound like some niggas I grew up with in Brooklyn type shit. Man, y'all get in the comment box below, man. Shout out to the whole Maryland, man. RP Lord Scoota, man. RP anybody that lost their life through this beef. This shit is probably still spiraling. I notice in a lot of the cities, it's shit like this, and that shit will go on for years and years and years. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. Y'all hit that bell that y'all see right under this video to subscribe for when this real Trill Spill shit is dropping. And y'all get at me, man. Get at me in the comments below. Get at me in the pictures on Instagram, the direct message on Twitter, however y'all feel the need. And I'm here for it. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb, ties.